lights, camera, and a whole lot of heartbreak. Welcome back to Vintage TV, where we're going to look at the 10 worst divorces in Hollywood history. This is not your typical Hollywood script. It's the real, raw, and riveting truth behind the glitz and glamour. Stay tuned.
The marriage of Marilyn Monroe and Joe DiMaggio attracts a record crowd to the San Francisco court where the ceremony is performed.
Number 10, Debbie Reynolds and Eddie Fisher. In the glitzy era of the 1950s, Debbie Reynolds and Eddie Fisher were the golden couple of Hollywood. Their courtship and marriage were celebrated as the sweetest love story ever told, capturing the hearts of fans and industry insiders alike. However, as is often the case in Tinseltown, the fairy tale took a dramatic turn, and the unraveling of the Fisher-Reynolds dream cast a shadow over the headlines. The story begins with the tragic passing of Elizabeth Taylor's husband, Mike Todd, in 1958. At that time, Reynolds and Fisher were not just Hollywood peers, but close friends of the grieving Taylor. Little did Reynolds know that this heartbreaking event would set the stage for one of the most publicized and scandalous breakups in Hollywood history. Soon after Todd's death, rumors surfaced that Taylor and Fisher had been carrying on an affair behind closed doors. What was once a tight-knit trio of friends had turned into a love triangle that would captivate the public's imagination. The unfolding drama was deemed by some as the biggest domestic tragedy since the legendary Douglas Fairbanks Sr. parted ways with America's sweetheart, Mary Pickford. The climax of this tumultuous love affair came when, after a year of contemplation, Reynolds agreed to a swift divorce, allowing Fisher to embark on his second marital journey, this time with Elizabeth Taylor. The scandalous love triangle gripped the nation, and the trio's personal lives became a box office goldmine. In the aftermath of the divorce, the financial stakes soared for all parties involved. The discarded wife, Debbie Reynolds, found herself in high demand, with her price tag for film appearances skyrocketing from $125,000 to an astounding $250,000 per picture. On the other side of the coin, the new Mrs. Fisher, Elizabeth Taylor, commanded fees ranging from $500,000 to an unprecedented $1 million. It was a lucrative spectacle, fueled by the scandalous narrative that unfolded in the tabloids. Meanwhile, Eddie Fisher, the man at the center of the storm, saw his career take a hit. Once the star of his own TV show, he found himself relegated to the nightclub circuit and a supporting role in MGM's Butterfield 8, a film that also starred his ex-wife, Elizabeth Taylor. Talks of a new TV show lingered, but the scandal had left an indelible mark on his once flourishing career. In the world of Hollywood, where personal lives are often as scripted as the movies themselves, the Fisher-Reynolds-Taylor saga stands as a testament to the intertwining of fame, friendship, and the high cost of public scandal. Number 9. Elizabeth Taylor and Conrad Hilton Jr. When it comes to Hollywood, where love stories are crafted for the silver screen, Elizabeth Taylor's first marriage to Conrad Nicky Hilton Jr. stands out as a tale of glamour, manipulation, and a brief but tumultuous union. Elizabeth Taylor, an enduring icon of Hollywood, etched her name in the annals of fame with her captivating performances in timeless classics like Cleopatra, The Taming of the Shrew, and A Place in the Sun. However, her cinematic brilliance was not the only facet of her life that grabbed headlines. Taylor became infamous for her 8 marriages, and the first in line was with Conrad Nicky Hilton Jr. in 1950. The marriage, lasting a mere 30 weeks, was shrouded in controversy and, according to some accounts, meticulously staged by both Taylor's family and MGM Studios. In the documentary Elizabeth Taylor: A Tribute, film critic Barry Norman, CBE, a friend of the actress, shed light on the alleged orchestration behind the nuptials. The decision for Taylor to tie the knot was purportedly a joint venture between her family and the studio. Biographer William J. Mann delved into the orchestrated nature of the union, asserting that the marriage to Nicky Hilton was a result of studio manipulation. Despite the staged backdrop, Taylor seemingly embraced the idea wholeheartedly, charmed by Hilton's persona. The entire wedding, down to the church ceremony and the bridesmaids, was reportedly a meticulously planned production by MGM, turning the matrimony into a spectacle of Hollywood proportions. However, the fairy tale facade quickly crumbled, and what ensued was described by Barry Norman, CBE, as a total failure. The marriage, riddled with Hilton's alleged drinking problems and violence towards Taylor, lasted less than 7 months. Nicky Hilton, heir to the Hilton hotel fortune, was a man of wealth but also a heavy drinker who, as the story goes, subjected Taylor to physical abuse. Only 205 days after uttering their vows, Elizabeth Taylor, a vision of vulnerability with her violet eyes brimming with tears, sought to undo the marital ties that had become a source of anguish. In a Santa Monica, California courtroom on January 29, 1951, the budding movie star, merely 18 years old, revealed the harsh realities of her marriage. She accused Hilton of being indifferent and using abusive language, securing a divorce on grounds of mental cruelty. Taylor, in an act that would become as iconic as her beauty, refused alimony and reclaimed her maiden name. The ill-fated union between Elizabeth Taylor and Conrad Hilton Jr. serves as a stark reminder of the intertwining forces of Hollywood glamour, family influence, and the harsh realities that often lurk behind the scenes. Join us for the next chapter in Hollywood's tumultuous love stories, where the script often diverges from the silver screen fantasy. If you're enjoying this trip through Hollywood's history, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more fascinating tales. Number 8. Mary Pickford and Douglas Fairbanks. The inception of Mary Pickford and Douglas Fairbanks' relationship was anything but conventional, both being entangled in prior marriages when their paths first crossed. However, when they exchanged vows in 1920, they ascended to the coveted title of the King and Queen of Hollywood during its silent era, symbolizing the epitome of glamour and success. Yet, the late 1920s cast shadows upon their golden union. The death of Mary's mother in 1928 plunged the star into grief, leading to a coping mechanism that involved alcohol. Additionally, the advent of talking pictures presented a formidable challenge for the couple as they struggled to adapt to the evolving landscape of the film industry. Amidst these challenges, seeds of distrust found fertile ground, initiating hairline fractures in their seemingly unbreakable bond. The whispers of Douglas Fairbanks' flirtation with a teenage actress reached Mary Pickford's ears, triggering a series of events that would irreversibly alter their relationship. In a move fraught with calculated strategy, Mary allowed her husband to catch her in a compromising situation with a co-star. The ploy, fueled by Fairbanks' pathological jealousy, backfired, and he assumed infidelity on her part. What followed was a tragic game of one-upsmanship where each believed the other had transgressed first. Douglas, in response, embraced a discreet life of debauchery, while Mary initiated an affair with her co-star. The once unbreakable bond now lay shattered, and the King and Queen of Hollywood faced the inevitable conclusion. In 1936, Mary Pickford and Douglas Fairbanks divorced, marking the end of an era that had once symbolized the pinnacle of Hollywood romance. Despite attempts by Fairbanks to reconcile, he found solace in the arms of his lover, a decision he would regret every day for the remainder of his life. Number 7. Ingrid Bergman and Peter Lindstrom. It might be said that the love story of Ingrid Bergman and Peter Lindstrom can be considered part of the symphony of Hollywood love stories, a union that soared to great heights but plunged into the depths of despair at the end. In the shadow of success, fame, and the American dream, their story unfolded, painting a portrait of a love that couldn't weather the storm. Their journey commenced shortly after Ingrid Bergman's 18th birthday, a chance encounter at the Grand Hotel orchestrated by her cousin. Peter Lindstrom, a figure seemingly woven into the fabric of her destiny, entered her life, and in 1937 they exchanged vows, marking the beginning of a promising journey. 2 years into their marriage, they welcomed their first child, and both their careers ascended, casting a radiant glow over their lives. Bergman adorned with her first Oscar, and Lindstrom, transitioning from a dentist to a lecturer in medicine and later a renowned brain surgeon, seemed to embody the pinnacle of success. However, beneath the surface of their seemingly idyllic life, cracks began to emerge. Lindstrom's dominance and criticism became a stifling force, eclipsing the luxuries they now possessed. Bergman found herself shackled by a life that, despite its opulence, felt increasingly oppressive. Her plea for divorce, a liberation from this gilded cage, was met with staunch resistance from Lindstrom, who could not fathom the dissolution of a marriage seemingly devoid of overt conflict. For a decade, Bergman grappled with an unhappy marriage, seeking an exit that remained elusive. The turning point arrived in 1948 when she embarked on an affair with Italian director Roberto Rossellini. The allure of passion and liberation led her to abandon Lindstrom and their daughter, Pia, as she embraced a new life with Rossellini in Italy. The shockwaves of this love triangle and out-of-wedlock birth of her son, Roberto, reverberated far beyond the confines of their personal lives, capturing the attention of a nation accustomed to seeing Bergman as a symbol of virtue. The affair, so scandalous that the United States Senate denounced it, culminated in Bergman's divorce from Lindstrom in 1950. Her subsequent marriage to Rossellini endured for 8 tumultuous years, yielding 2 more children, Ingrid and Isabella. The echoes of Bergman's choices lingered, challenging societal norms and redefining the narrative of a woman who dared to follow the tumultuous path of her heart. Number 6. Charlie Chaplin and Lita Grey. In the world of Hollywood romances, the story of Charlie Chaplin and Lita Grey unfolds as a turbulent tango, marked by a significant age gap and the shadows of scandal. A union that, despite its brevity, left an indelible mark on the annals of celebrity divorces. In 1924, the 35-year-old Chaplin, already an iconic figure in the silent film era, exchanged vows with Lita Grey, a mere 16 years old. Their union, a lightning rod for controversy, sparked a whirlwind of allegations that reverberated through the tabloids of the time. The papers claimed that Chaplin, in a promise tinged with manipulation, had engaged in a relationship with the virtuous and inexperienced Lita when she was barely 16, offering matrimony as both shield and sanctuary. On their wedding night, whispers circulated that Chaplin, with an air of cynicism, declared to friends that the marriage was a preferable alternative to imprisonment. The ominous prophecy continued as he allegedly told Lita, "This marriage won't last long. I will make you so damn sick of me that you won't want to live with me." The narrative took darker turns as reports surfaced of Chaplin attempting to coerce Lita into an abortion or a so-called criminal operation after she became pregnant. Accusations flew, with Chaplin branding his young bride a gold digger who sought to dismantle his career and impede his professional ascent. Legal proceedings ensued, accompanied by an order preventing Chaplin from altering his wealth before the settlement, ensuring a fair resolution in court. The climax of this tumultuous saga arrived in 1927 when Chaplin and Lita finalized their divorce. In a financial denouement that echoed through Hollywood, Lita was awarded a settlement of $800,000, a staggering sum for the time and the largest in divorce history. While some viewed Lita's victory as a triumph, others saw it as a strategic move orchestrated by lawyers. As the dust settled on this chapter of Hollywood history, Charlie Chaplin continued to dazzle audiences with his cinematic brilliance, and Lita Grey faded into the background, her legacy forever entwined with the headlines and courtroom drama of a bygone era. Number 5. Joan Crawford and Francois Tone. In the glittering reels of Hollywood's golden age, the ill-fated romance between Joan Crawford and Francois Tone emerges as a poignant tale of love entangled in the thorny vines of ambition. Fresh from her divorce from Douglas Fairbanks, Crawford found herself cast alongside Clark Gable and the charismatic Francois Tone in 1933's Dancing Lady. Little did she know that this on-screen rendezvous would spill into real life, leading to a whirlwind romance with Tone that culminated in marriage in 1935. However, their union would prove to be a tapestry woven with threads of unmet expectations and divergent dreams. Joan Crawford, a woman driven by an unyielding ambition for fame, consistently found herself entangled with men who failed to champion her aspirations. If Fairbanks had leaned towards politics, Tone, an actor's actor, harbored dreams of gracing local stage plays rather than basking in the glow of blockbuster films. Crawford, undeterred, embarked on a tireless quest to mold Tone into a reluctant star, setting the stage for their unraveling. The couple's shared dream of a bi-coastal existence with a focus on New York and a return to the stage for Francois metamorphosed into an unfulfilled mirage. While Crawford's Hollywood trajectory soared, Tone found himself stagnating, his resentment festering beneath the surface. The clash of their professional trajectory strained the delicate fabric of their marriage. Behind the glamorous facade, Crawford yearned for motherhood. Despite 2 attempts, both pregnancies ended in heart-wrenching miscarriages, casting a shadow over their union. Yet, Tone's response to Crawford's grief added another layer of complexity to their unraveling story. Depressed and frustrated with the miscarriages and his marriage, Tone began drinking and, most terrifying of all, taking his anger out on Crawford. Heartbreakingly, the mistreatment she endured as a child came back once more, with Tone physically harming her during their fights. Thankfully, Joan wasn't dealing with that anymore. The two would divorce in 1939, The evening before their divorce was final, they were seen dancing together. Joan would tell the judge granting her divorce that she hoped she, Joan, would have the good sense to remain friendly with her soon-to-be ex-husband. While both went on to other marriages, it appears they still held each other in high regard. In early 1954, the two were spotted out of town together. Columnist Earl Wilson asked Joan if she and Francois were going to reconcile. She responded with "We haven't discussed it, but I wish it could be so. I just adore this man." Adoration or not, they did not officially reconcile, and the following year, Joan would marry Pepsi executive Alfred Steele and have a happy 4 years with him before he died unexpectedly of a heart attack. Number 4. Rita Hayworth and Orson Welles. In the glittering realm of Hollywood, where illusion often intertwines with reality, the love story of Rita Hayworth and Orson Welles emerged as a captivating narrative of passion and shattered dreams. Orson Welles, the visionary director and actor, was captivated by the allure of Rita Hayworth long before their paths crossed. Her pinup spreads had painted a picture of a femme fatale, but Welles soon discovered a different truth. Behind the seductive facade was a timid young actress, still navigating the labyrinth of her identity in the spotlight. Their love story unfolded against the backdrop of Hollywood's golden age. Welles, known for his avant-garde approach to filmmaking, welcomed Hayworth into his circle of friends. He playfully pretended to read her mind, a charming ploy that drew her out of her shell. The connection deepened, and in 1943, amidst the bustling set of CoverGirl, they exchanged vows on September 7th during a lunch break, bypassing the traditional honeymoon. For a fleeting moment, they basked in the joy of newfound love, eager to escape the relentless spotlight of Tinseltown. A mansion became their refuge as they hatched plans to leave Hollywood behind. Welles envisioned a foray into politics, while Hayworth sought solace in pursuits beyond the film industry that had molded her into an unwilling star. Welles recalled, "She hated being a movie star. It gave her nothing." Hayworth, fueled by a desire to be an ideal partner for her accomplished husband, immersed herself in his world. She devoured his books, championed his political aspirations, and embraced the role of a devoted wife ready to bear his children. In her own words to fellow actress June Allison, she expressed, "I really wanted to be everything Orson wanted of me." In the candid account of their unraveling, Hayworth revealed a stark truth about Welles's reluctance to embrace the responsibilities of married life. "During the entire period of our marriage, he showed no interest in establishing a home. When I suggested purchasing a home, he told me he didn't want the responsibility," she lamented. It became evident that Welles, a maestro of creativity, was unprepared for the unconventional demands of a domestic existence. "Mr. Welles told me he never should have married in the first place, that it interfered with his freedom and his way of life." The strains magnified when Hayworth, pregnant with their daughter Rebecca, found herself entwined in a web of infidelity that Welles had spun. Gloria Vanderbilt, an heiress ensnared in her own marital ties, became a focal point of his attentions. Yet she was not alone in the shadows. Behind closed doors, Welles embarked on an affair with Judy Garland, sought solace in the company of sex workers, and grew increasingly indifferent to the needs of his wife. As Welles explored the labyrinth of his desires, Hayworth, burdened by the weight of a tumultuous marriage, sought solace in the embrace of alcohol. The volatility of their relationship reached a breaking point, leading to her decision to file for divorce, a choice that would reshape the trajectory of their lives. The divorce was granted in 1947, marking the end of a chapter that had once promised eternal love. Despite the turmoil, Hayworth, in an ironic twist of fate, starred in Gilda, a film that would etch her name into the annals of Hollywood history, portraying one of her most provocative and iconic roles. Number 3. Audrey Hepburn and Mel Ferrer. In the dazzling realm of Hollywood, where dreams are woven into the fabric of reality, the love story of Audrey Hepburn and Mel Ferrer unfolds with a mix of stardom, romance, and heartbreaking loss. It all began in 1953 when Audrey Hepburn, at the tender age of 24, captivated audiences with her lead role in Roman Holiday. As the new darling of Hollywood, destined for greatness, she crossed paths with Mel Ferrer, an actor and director with a seasoned life marked by 2 ex-wives, 4 children, and 12 more years on this earth than Hepburn. Their introduction took place at a party celebrating the British opening of Roman Holiday. While the pair might have seemed an odd match on the surface, an undeniable connection quickly formed between Hepburn and Ferrer. Their romance blossomed on the Broadway stage in 1954 when they starred together in Ondine. Behind the scenes, their love story deepened, and by the year's end, Audrey Hepburn became Mel Ferrer's wife. On September 25, 1954, the couple exchanged vows in an intimate ceremony in Switzerland, choosing to keep their union away from the prying eyes of the public. Initially, their marriage radiated happiness, and they continued to share the screen in the 1955 film adaptation of Leo Tolstoy's War and Peace. Eager to expand their family, Hepburn soon found herself pregnant, but the joyous anticipation turned to sorrow as she suffered a miscarriage in 1955, the first of several heart-wrenching losses. In 1959, tragedy struck again when she lost a second child, reportedly due to a fall from a horse while filming The Unforgiven. The ensuing years brought two more miscarriages in 1965 and 1967, weaving a tapestry of grief. Amidst the heartbreak, however, there were moments of joy. In the midst of personal trials, Audrey and Mel found solace in the birth of their first and only child. Sean Hepburn Ferrer entered the world on July 17, 1960. Audrey, dedicated to her family, had taken a hiatus from her work during her pregnancy to ensure the safety of her unborn son. Welcoming their first child should have cemented Hepburn and Ferrer's status as a Hollywood golden couple, but behind the scenes their marriage was anything but simple. Though Hepburn insisted they were happy together for years, Ferrer was reportedly jealous and controlling. Ferrer used Audrey's crush on him to rule her with an iron fist, claimed film director Alfred Lunt. Hepburn's mother once described Ferrer as a frog-faced delinquent with spindly legs, in a letter going on to accuse him of causing sufficient havoc to last a long time. There were affairs on both sides of the marriage. Hepburn had a secret relationship with Sabrina co-star William Holden, who was also married. The actress also reportedly had a dalliance with screenwriter Robert Anderson, while Ferrer had several affairs of his own. Though their marriage was clearly struggling, Hepburn was resistant to end the relationship, especially after Sean was born. Still, by the late 1960s, even Hepburn couldn't deny her 14-year romance with Ferrer had well and truly run its course. They announced their divorce in November 1968, and though Hepburn would marry again, her other great love wouldn't arrive for over a decade. Number 2, Humphrey Bogart and Mayo Methot. In the smoky haze of old Hollywood, Humphrey Bogart and Mayo Methot emerged as a couple with a magnetic pull, drawing attention not just for their love, but also for the tumultuous storms that brewed within their relationship. Bogart, enamored by Methot's ability to tickle his funny bone, found joy in their shared laughter. However, the real of their relationship was not all sunshine and smiles. The spotlight that illuminated their love story also cast shadows on the darker facets of their union. Beyond their passion for each other, the duo shared an affinity for another companion: alcohol. The press, quick to seize on the dramatic narrative, dubbed them the Battling Bogarts. The pressures of fame, coupled with their personal struggles, wove a tapestry of volatility that played out in public view. Documents hinted at a darker side, with suggestions that Bogart was not immune to violence, and Mayo Methot was no shrinking violet, met force with force. The destructive dance of their drinking binges fueled arguments, creating a tempestuous atmosphere that became synonymous with the Battling Bogarts. Sluggy Hollow, their Hollywood residence, witnessed numerous skirmishes. In one famous incident, Methot stabbed Bogart in the shoulder. On another occasion, the clink of whiskey bottles echoed as the couple exchanged blows to the head. Friend and actress Gloria Stewart painted a vivid picture of the chaos, recalling a dinner party where Methot, fueled by alcohol, brandished a pistol, threatening to shoot Bogart. The public glimpsed only a fraction of the turmoil. Methot bore bruises on her face, tangible evidence of the physical clashes that marked their relationship. Bogart, too, was not untouched by the storm, tearing Methot's dress off in the heat of a confrontation. The couple separated and reconciled several times over the course of their marriage. The turning point came on the set of the 1944 film To Have and Have Not. Bogart, then in the autumn of his career, encountered Bacall, a radiant presence 25 years his junior. As the cameras rolled, the reel of their on-screen chemistry spilled into reality. The New York Times captured the moment when Bogart, captivated by Bacall, leaned over, lifted her chin, and sealed their fate with a kiss. The revelation of this budding romance reached Methot, Bogart's estranged wife like an unwelcome gust of wind. Methot, grappling with alcoholism, became a frequent visitor to the film set, a silent witness to the affair that was unraveling her marriage. Bogart, torn between the old and the new, attempted to salvage what remained of his union with Methot, but the battle lines were drawn. Announcing his departure from the marital home on October 19, 1944, Bogart's efforts seemed futile. Yet, just 11 days later, a surprising declaration echoed through the tabloids. Bogart and Methot had reconciled. In his charismatic wit, Bogart quipped about returning to their normal battles. However, the storm of their relationship raged on. Methot, on December 3, 1944, proclaimed that Bogart had once again left their home. The die was cast, and the tumultuous marriage between Humphrey Bogart and Mayo Methot was reaching its conclusion. In the aftermath of the storm, the Bogart-Bacall affair emerged unscathed. Love, it seemed, had conquered all. The divorce between Bogart and Methot was finalized in 1945, and that same year, Bogart exchanged vows with Lauren Bacall. Their love endured until the final curtain fell on Bogart's life in 1957. Number 1. Marilyn Monroe and Joe DiMaggio. The year was 1952 when retired baseball legend Joe DiMaggio, in pursuit of more than home runs, sought an introduction to the rising star Marilyn Monroe. In her autobiography, My Story, Monroe confessed her initial reluctance, fearing the stereotypical arrogance that often accompanied athletes. Little did she know that this chance encounter would set the stage for a love story destined for both glory and heartbreak. The romance unfolded against the backdrop of a long-distance relationship, with Monroe in the West and DiMaggio in the East. Despite attempts to shield their love from prying eyes, the press soon caught wind of this high-profile affair. The culmination of their courtship occurred in January 1954 at San Francisco City Hall, where they eloped amidst a frenzy of fans and paparazzi. Monroe, defying tradition, adorned herself in a dark brown suit with a white fur collar, while DiMaggio opted for a simple suit, standing together in front of St. Peter's and Paul Church. A church ceremony eluded them due to their shared history of previous marriages. In her autobiography, Monroe revealed shared aspirations, including a desire for children despite her struggles with endometriosis. However, beneath the surface of their seemingly harmonious connection lurked the seeds of discord. DiMaggio's jealousy and controlling nature clashed with Monroe's demanding filming schedule, setting the stage for a rocky journey. The strange became evident during their honeymoon in Japan when Monroe, dedicated to entertaining American troops stationed in South Korea during the Korean War, left her newly husband discontented. DiMaggio's dissatisfaction with her commitment to work foreshadowed the unraveling of their union. It was DiMaggio's discomfort with Monroe's universal appearance that intensified tensions in their relationship. The tipping point came during the filming of The 7-Year Itch, immortalized by Monroe's iconic flying skirt scene. Fans and paparazzi, spurred on by director Billy Wilder's alleged orchestration, cheered her on, much to DiMaggio's fury. A public altercation ensued, laying bare the fault lines in their marriage. In October 1954, Monroe, back in Los Angeles after filming in New York City, filed for divorce from DiMaggio, citing mental cruelty as the grounds. Their marriage, once a symbol of love and promise, crumbled after a mere 9 months. The ensuing years saw Monroe's journey through love's labyrinth as she ventured into a marriage with famed playwright Arthur Miller in 1956, only to face another divorce in 1961. The first half of 1961 marked a challenging period for Monroe, undergoing surgeries, including one for her endometriosis, and spending 4 weeks hospitalized for depression in a New York psychiatric clinic. During this trying time, a surprising turn of events occurred. Monroe and DiMaggio rekindled a friendship, with the former athlete playing a supportive role in her life. DiMaggio, then working as a batting coach for the Yankees in Florida, secured her release and provided solace during her struggles. However, any hopes of a romantic reunion remained unfulfilled. On October 5, 1962, tragedy struck as Monroe, age 36, succumbed to an overdose of barbiturates at her Los Angeles home. It remains a mystery as to why this woman died, even though official rulings have established that she committed suicide. A grief-stricken DiMaggio, joined by Monroe's half-sister Bernice Baker Miracle and business manager Inez Melson, orchestrated the funeral service at Westwood Village Memorial Park Cemetery on August 8th, bidding a poignant farewell to the woman who had captivated hearts on and off the screen. Well, that's it, everyone. The 10 worst divorces in Hollywood history. Which one shocked you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. If you want more exclusive Hollywood content, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Until next time, stay tuned.